Imagine I'm part of a heritage family that has a very clear lineage and a lot of wealth that is accumulated throughout all the years. And I practice astrology. And let's set myself back a long time. So, what I would probably do is I would look at where Pluto is going to be for the next, I don't know, say 40 years in the different signs and say, okay, people born between this time and this time will have Pluto in Virgo. So they're going to have their power in their analytical skills. They're going to be very mercurial in that sense. And they are going to also probably have an innate drive towards service to others, and health. They'll have a strong connection with health. So how do you disempower people with those attributes? Next, I'd move to Pluto and Libra. And I would say, well, those people are going to have a lot of power in their relationships. They're going to have a lot of power amongst their relationships and wanting harmony in their relationships and wanting justice. So how do I disempower those people? Okay, next, I'd go to Pluto in Scorpio. So that generation, that's going to be the millennials. They're going to have a lot of power in their investigative skills and uncovering taboo topics, and they're going to have a lot of interest in the occult. And so how would I disempower that group of people? Because they're going to have, especially because Pluto is so comfortable in Scorpio, they're going to have even more access to that power naturally. And if they start speaking on that power, they're going to spread a lot of truth that have to do with a lot of the dark underbelly of our agendas that we come across, that we put out into the media and whatnot. So how would I stop a generation that naturally has a drive to uncover the truth and the taboo topics that we don't want anyone talking about in society, because we're behind a lot of these intense, horrible situations, especially when it comes to putting sexuality on television as well. And so how would we do that? Maybe attack those things. Maybe attack, things that have to do with innate sexuality. Maybe attack things that have to do with taboo topics, make them seem crazy. They're all conspiracy theorists. They're crazy occult, witches running around. Maybe that's how we do it. Okay, next generation, Pluto and Sagittarius. They're going to be philosophers. They're going to have a lot of strength in, thinking about things as a whole and how it ties together for people. And they're going to have an innate energy to them where they feel supported by Jupiter. So they're going to be a little bit more free in their actions. They're going to have power in that. How do we disempower them? That's probably what I would do. And, kind of like playing chess. But also, because you're a heritage lineage family, you have that plan in place and you pass it down through generations and generations. And the other people who don't have money and access to their family lineage so closely won't be able to pass down all the information of what has happened in the 20 years before them and the 20 years before them and the 20 years before them, to see the patterns of how we were both supported by the powers of the natural energies of the universe, but along with people who know how to use those powers as well. So I think that's just a very interesting thing with astrology that I would really love to explore more, is like not keeping that information just within heritage families, but like talking about it as a whole within our current society, so we can see how things have played out and the patterns of how things have played out, and make plans to steer ourselves and the community base the way that we want for the future as well, and pass the positive plans down throughout the generations. So yeah, just some generational Pluto thoughts.